Singapore government's tech arm GovTech is planning to go ahead and trim up to 9% of its 3,900 workforce. For a start, it will let go of 93 staff in what it calls a phased transformation. To make sense of this transformation, we have Dr. Tan Hong Ming from NUS Business School and Felicia Romli from HR consultancy Robert Walters Singapore. Dr. Tan, Felicia, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Tan, let's start with you. GovTech says that it's moving from project delivery to product ownership. Can you explain what that means to us?
So I like to think of project delivery as like shorter term as compared relative to product delivery. So project delivery is like we build, you deliver, and then maybe move on to the next project. It's also more customized and small scale, right? For product, we build, we deliver, but then we continuously improve to deliver the product to our users to ensure that it is, safe, reliable, secure to use, right? So I think this, interestingly, aligns with research done at NUS Business School by one of my colleagues, Professor Yoken, where we see that if an organization starts thinking of its services as products, right, they can generate more value for their customers.
Okay, so based on this new goal, what kind of roles do you think will be most affected?
Right. So I think clearly the organizational skill set needs to change, right? So we need to see more internal capabilities. So that's why you see GovTech looking to hire more software developers, right? In the areas of cybersecurity and also data management and governance, right? And then we will see, of course, vendor and product management roles need to evolve, right? As we move from product to more product type approaches.
Is this a shift that you see more widely in the tech industry, or do you think GovTech is taking a bit of a different approach here?
Right. So I think, as Singaporean would put it, it's same but different, right? So I think in the broader tech industry, we see big tech companies start really moving to products, right? So I'll give an example that I think everyone should be familiar with, like Microsoft Office, right? We used to have Microsoft Office 2003, 2007. These are like big products, but still products, right? But now we have Microsoft 365, which Microsoft just continuously, improve and deliver for its users. Does it make sense, right? Yeah.
So, Felicia, if we were to bring you into this conversation, GovTech says it's a transformation exercise and not AI-driven and also not cost-cutting. Do you think this is different from the layoffs we're seeing more generally in the tech sector?
I think the intent is different because basically most of the tech layoffs, the intent is to deal with cost optimization and, of course, probably previous overhiring due to the tech trends itself. But I think for GovTech, it's a transformation. So they are trying to redesign, how the workforce solution looks like to actually meet the business needs and the changing climates as well.
So some of the responses that have come up so far, Felicia, is that, government jobs have long been seen as a kind of iron rice bowl situation, so to speak. So there's quite a bit of concern in that light with regard to this transformation. Do you think this exercise changes that perception?
It doesn't necessarily change that because, of course, in actual fact, a lot of the Singapore public services roles tend to be stable, right, comparing to any private companies. So it's just a change of transformation that everyone has to go through, regardless of you being in public sector or private sector. They have to change to meet the business needs eventually.
Dr. Tan, do you agree with that? Do you think there's a cause for concern?
I think, we should, be mindful, right? But maybe not panic, right? So I think that, AI also changes things, right? How we need the skills that's required by the workforce, right? And we should just continuously develop ourselves, right?
Now, if we were to look more closely at what's about to happen, up to 9% of GovTech's workforce could eventually be affected by this transformation. What do you think this pace and also the scale of this exercise tell us about where the public sector might be headed?
Right. So I think maybe not so much focus on the pace or the scale, right? Of course, in the tech sector, I think we have seen much worse, right? But I think more of the philosophy and like this moving from a project to a product framework, right? This means that, the government sector, public sector will not be evaluated on how many projects they deliver, right? But rather, how are they able to meet the ongoing needs, right, of our users, right? In particular, our citizens, for instance, right? And all the digital services that GovTech provides, right? So that's a different evaluation framework we have in mind.
So if we were to look at some potential sectors or agencies that might be a little bit affected in that same way, they might shift towards more product focus. Can you name any at this point?
We mean agencies?
Or potentially areas that might move in that direction?
Oh, okay. I think a lot of services areas will move into this direction, right? Because I think by changing something that's less tangible, like a service, into something more tangible as a product, right? That offers customers more clear what the service they are getting provided for and the value they get out of it. Right? It's better for the organization. It's better for the end user and the customers as well.
Now, Felicia, for those affected, what can they do at this point to give themselves a better chance of landing their next role or even to start upskilling?
Right. I think with a lot of tech roles, the most important skill sets is always technical skills, right? What you can do technically. But of course, at the same time, I would say the adaptability, to the ever-changing market is also quite important. So of course, first priority, let's get them to look at, the current skill sets that they have and to see what kind of development that would fit into what the market needs right now. So I think a lot of skills in AI, in data, cybersecurity, projects are, one of the few most important skills right now that are highly sought after, aside from public sectors as well. So if they can actually develop their skill sets in those areas, that would be very helpful for them to probably quicker in finding a job or securing a role.
So skill sets aside, as you mentioned, the adaptability is quite important.
Yes.
When you talk to a lot of your clients who are trying to make a transition, whether upskilling or moving into a new industry altogether, what kind of advice do you give them to make them more open to adapting and also maybe not be so concerned and scared?
Yes, definitely. I think being scared is not going to help you to, secure your next role, right? I think what's important is really, take care of yourself, mentally, of course, but at the same time, I think look into your communication skills. How do you solve problems for the businesses? And look just beyond what you can deliver in terms of technical skill sets, but also how do you really help the business transform in the future?
Well, Dr. Tan, if we go back to you now, what is your take overall when you look at how this entire GovTech transformation announcement was being announced or done? How do you think it has handled this exercise overall?
So I think GovTech, in my opinion, handled it pretty well, right, as compared to the broader industry, right? I think I was talking to Felicia just now, right? Typically, sometimes the announcement can be on the same day, right, and not preempt, and you just walk into office and you just get laid off, right? So I think it's handled very nicely, right? The unions are involved, right, and there's a very well thought out compensation plan for them, and I think there are also the job advisors, career advisors here involved to help them, upskill or transition to the next work, right?
Yeah, so structurally there was enough support, you think?
Yes, I think there's more than enough support.
And Felicia, how about you? How do you think it was handled?
I believe, of course, tech layoffs or any layoffs exercise are never easy for anyone, especially for GovTech, who has a brand name out there as one of the forefront of technology adoption, right? So I guess the key over here is really how they handle it in terms of communication. It's pretty clear of what are the steps that will be taken, and of course, what are the support that they will give, in the future for these people, essentially. I think with them putting these people to go through like career coaching, to prepare them better to go for the next stage of their life. I think is actually, what is handled very well compared to other functions or other private companies generally.
Right. Well, Felicia, Dr. Tan, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. I've been chatting with Dr. Tan Hong Ming from NUS Business School and also Felicia Romli from Robert Walters Singapore.